just a horrific racist attack. Is this where we are? I mean, it used to be you tell your kid, listen, if I'm not around, you need help, just find a mom. Trust a mom, just not this mom.
You call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again?
You.
Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people.
Nobody digging through.
A little kid just did, you dumb.
That little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be the that.
I don't give a.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you.
Just remember her body language in that clip too. Does she look afraid? That's gonna come back. Minnesota, a woman at a local playground hurled a racial slur at a 5-year-old black boy after accusing him of getting too close to her child's diaper bag. When Sharmake Omar, who witnessed the incident, stepped in to defend the child, who, like Omar, is of Somali heritage, the woman identified as Shiloh Hendricks turned her attention to him. She didn't just use the slur again and again and again. She went further, telling Omar and his wife they shouldn't have more children because they drained the welfare system. So none of this was said in private, Jenk. She was defiant on camera. She stands by her words, her behavior, even when confronted. And it just made me think, has public shaming, he's holding the camera there, rolling, has public shaming lost all power?
No, it's much worse than that, as we're about to show you, because she got greatly rewarded for this. So I got a lot of words for the people who contributed to her. So that's coming up in a minute. But so far, on the things that we've already covered, the kid that she was calling the N-word repeatedly to is 5 years old. If I'm at a park and a 5-year-old goes through my baby's bag, do I think he's stealing something? No, I think he's a 5-year-old. I go, hey, little fella, what you doing? Where's your parents, right? And I bring him back to his parents. I don't accuse him of being a thief, let alone the N-word. I don't go to his parents and tell them that they're taken from the welfare system when I don't know anything about them. And now it might turn out that the kid's also autistic, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't, like, that's not even important. He's a 5-year-old. No, okay, so first of all, let me be super clear. She is definitely racist. So let me be very clear about that. So, so look, these days we're telling people don't blame the voters, right? Republican, Democrat, et cetera, blame the leaders, et cetera. But then, and don't go around calling everybody racist and fascist and Nazis. It's not that productive, okay? We wanna win people back. But when a person calls a 5-year-old the N-word and says, oh yeah, I bet you guys take welfare money, you black people. Well, what do you want me to call her? You want me to call her not racist? No, she's definitely racist. But wait till you see all the other racists that financially rewarded her. Atta girl, way to take on a 5-year-old black kid and try to ruin his life and call him dirty racial words. Atta girl, they said. Let's find out about that.
Gotta teach them young. Rochester police say they've received multiple calls and are investigating the incident. They've apparently concluded that investigation and they've sent things over to the DA's office. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, the local branch of the NAACP called for the woman to face criminal charges, suggested the slur against the child could constitute a hate crime. They made it clear no one should face that kind of abuse, especially not a 5-year-old child at the playground. But we want to show you this. This is what Jen was referring to. I mean, this was just a couple hours ago. She might be a millionaire by now. The aftermath took a disturbing turn. This is what we're doing. The woman launched a crowdfunding campaign on Give, Send, Go. That platform known for hosting right-wing fundraisers quickly pulled in more than $500,000. It's currently showing, at least last check, 670,000. Comments on the fundraiser were so full of vitriol that the site had to shut them down. Some donors cheered her on, rewarding her Not despite her racism, but because of it, she now says she plans to use the funds to move someplace safer, less black. Perhaps I added that part. Meanwhile, the Rochester NAACP raised about half of that amount, half, to support the child's family. Here is their poster board on GoFundMe. Ms. Hendricks, meantime, recently posted an update on her fundraising page. Hello, where do I even begin? The overwhelming support that my family and myself have received is unbelievable. I've never felt so scared, yet reassured in my life. It's truly a whirlwind of emotions. We're currently doing okay. No one has been harmed, and we are getting by. We are taking the proper procedures in order to stay safe from these constant threats. I'm still very frightened, and I don't think I will feel safe until we can escape completely. It's ironic because I could use those same words or someone who looks like me in a circumstance like that. It's not exactly like what Israel's doing, of course. But again, I ask, like, where is the hope, Jen? If this is what we're doing, she's loud, she's violent in her words and disgustingly racist. And yet my fellow Americans are not just cheering her on or accepting it, right? Accept it, then cheer it on. They're actually, in these difficult times, opening up their wallets and giving to this woman. Some people could only afford to give $5, $10. They're doing it though. That's who they identify with from watching that video. It's so gross. I ask you, what can be done about it? Where's the hope? This is just what we have to deal with.
Yeah. So I talk about not blaming the Trump voters because why? Because they voted for one person and against another person, and a lot of them voted against the establishment. And it was a generalized vote. It was voting again for one person or against another person, and there was talk of inflation and immigration and so many different issues, right? So somebody might have voted on inflation, another one might be hardcore MAGA who voted for him because he thinks Trump might be racist and he loves it, right? So there's a giant range of people. In this case, that doesn't apply because these people have raised their hand on a specific issue, right? So she sees a 5-year-old black kid and she thinks, I gotta get to safety. All the N-words are all around here and they're little 5-year-olds. Ah! You probably took money from welfare, you N-word this. Okay, you're a racist, that's obvious, right? But the people who gave her money, you guys didn't vote on a generalized thing. You didn't do this based on inflation or anything else. No, you were like, oh, you called a black kid the N-word. Congratulations, here's my hard-earned money. I love racism. I love racists like you. I love you racists so much that I fund them and try to make them millionaires. Everyone who gave to that fund, if they understood the whole situation, is obviously racist. You wanna cry? You wanna cry now? Oh, just because we call little black kids N-word, and then we used to think, oh, great job, atta girl. Way to show that little black kid who he is. He's an N-word, ha ha ha. Well, I'm not racist. No, you are. You're a baboon and you're a racist who wants to reward racism. You raised your hand for it. I didn't make you raise your hand for it. It wasn't a general election. You said, I love this racist and I want to finance her. By the way, you know what's gonna happen next, Sharon? Now, all bets are off. Tons of people are gonna go around calling people the N-word and then try to fundraise off of it. They're gonna be like, I called someone an N-word too. Can somebody give me money? I'm just as racist as she was. You know what? They'll try to one-up her. They'll say, oh yeah, watch how terrible I treated a black person or a Latino or a woman or whatever. Now give me $1 million. So
the comments were literally what you were mockingly, literally the comments said things, almost verbatim what you were saying there.
I didn't even see the comments. I'm not surprised because that's who gives money to an avowed racist. So now she says, oh, well, I'm afraid because somebody threatened me online. Okay, first of all, nobody should threaten anyone. That defeats the whole point. Never do violence, never threaten violence, never talk about violence, etc. But look, this is this platform she's raising money is a quote unquote Christian platform. No one does more damage to Christianity than so-called Christian leaders, okay? This platform also raised money for Kyle Rittenhouse. Oh, if you go to a Black Lives Matter protest and you kill a couple of people, we want to reward you. Let's get you some money, some cold hard cash. You call a 5-year-old black kid the N-word, let's reward you. Let's give you some cold hard cash. By the way, we're Christians. Are you? Are you? It doesn't look like it. So.
Can I tell you one other thing, Jane?
Yeah.
She was initially asking for less, but she has just increased the fundraising goal to $1 million. So she get it while it's hot, let it keep rolling in.
No. I mean, everyone, you keep the people giving. That's all. You're just telling on yourself. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to track you down. I'm not going to be a weirdo. Okay, but all of you, you got to live with yourself, right? And you're the person who said, I love racism. I like to finance racism. So okay, that's who you are. Look yourself in the mirror every day. Get up and say, man, I love discriminating against. I hate black people. Etc. That's who you are. Just own it. Okay, just own it. And don't now, Sharon, I guarantee you, humans are easy to figure out. Incentives and disincentives. This story just provided an enormous financial incentive for all of us to fight each other. And in all directions, okay? If you're racist, bigoted, etc., there's people out there who are gonna give you money for it. So now you're gonna see, if you thought racism and bigotry were bad before, wait till you see it after she raises $1 million.
But you mentioned fighting each other, and I know we got to go. But can we acknowledge that the side who is fighting for, not everybody, but the side that's fighting in favor and cheering on this racist are much more motivated? If we just do the math, I told you the NAACP raised half. Maybe they're just not as good at calling, for, I don't know. But it just is ironic to me, that this woman raised more than the autism community's fundraising over the same period too. So it just, these are really motivated racists. They're not just, I say yay, but I'm not gonna get off my couch. These are activist racists.
I mean, they gotta stop egging people on, man. If you called my kids some kind of word like that, I don't know what would have happened. And so this is a runaway freight train. Look, last thing. If you said it about a Jewish person, there'd be a congressional hearing, let's be honest, and you would be arrested and maybe deported, right? So are we gonna protect black people in the same way? Let's be honest, we're not, right? So imagine if someone says something deeply anti-Semitic, which I would despise, in a park like that to a 5-year-old Jewish kid, right? Heartbreaking, terrible. And then they raised $1 million. Like the rest of the country was like, "Atta boy, way to be an anti-Semite and yell at that 5-year-old Jewish kid and call him this word and that word. Atta boy, here's $1 million." We'd all lose it, right? I mean, that would definitely be headline news. Why is this on cable news 24/7? Did I miss it? Maybe it's here and there. I hope MSNBC's covering it. But how is this not? I mean, where's the congressional hearings? Okay, so some people you can do things to, and other people you can't. This isn't about Israel or anything like that. Like, I don't want anybody getting called any names under any circumstances, okay? But don't tell me that black people have the same power. Don't tell me that there isn't racism when somebody just got nearly $1 million to be racist. So you're gonna get a lot more of this going forward, and it's gonna be absolutely disgusting. And then the people up top are gonna laugh their ass off as we rip each other to shreds. And then they'll get another $5 trillion in tax cuts.
Look at the hypothetical you gave. You said if someone says something anti-Semitic and then deported. If somebody just said, "Hey, stop the killing of the babies," that on UPenn's campus or somewhere else, or writes an op-ed, and suddenly, bam, you're out of here. But this is, we gotta go. It just brings up a lot that you were right when you said this first hour is not, this is heavy.
Yeah, not for the faint of heart. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.